Good morning, welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, November the 5th. We are here to look at the new releases that were published this week, and on Wednesdays we look at crime fiction and thrillers. We look at the darker side, not the fluffy side. Quick announcements, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We go for 2 hours. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons for a total of 9 hours of your sprinting pleasure. Let's look at the dark side. First up, historical mystery, an author I very much enjoy, although I'm a bit behind in the series. This is book number 15 in the Charles Lennox Mysteries series. It's called The Hidden City. It's 1879 and Lennox is convalescing from the violent events of his last investigation, but a desperate letter from an old servant forces him to pick up the trail of a cold case, the murder of an apothecary 7 years before, whose only clue is an odd emblem carved into the doorway of the building where the man was killed. When Lennox finds a similar mark at the site of another murder, he begins to piece together a hidden pattern which leads him to the corridors of Parliament, the slums of East London, and ultimately the very heart of the British upper class. At the same time, Lennox must contend with the complexities of his personal life, a surprising tension with his steadfast wife, Lady Jane, over her public support of the early movement for women's suffrage, the arrival of Angela Lennox, a mysterious young cousin from India with an unexpected companion, the dizzying ascent of his brother Sir Edmund Lennox to one of the highest political posts in the land, the growing family of his young partners in detection, Polly and Dollington, and the return of the problems that have long bedeviled one of his closest friends, the dashing Scottish physician Thomas McConnell. I have to get back to that series. It's been a while. Move it up on the TBR. Good morning, Mary. Happy morning. And everyone, happy Wednesday. Another beautiful day here in Virginia. Supposed to get up to 73 today. Wow. Mary says, oh, I like Charles Finch too. Yes, I'm behind. I think I'm in 12 or 13. Somewhere in there. With Friends Like These by Alyssa Lee. Harvard promised them everything: ambitious futures, peers who pushed each other toward their absolute best, and an education that would open doors for the rest of their lives. And though they started out as roommates, Sarah B., Dina, Allie, Wesley, and Claudine soon became family. They had their whole bright lives ahead of them until their senior year, when a shocking tragedy changed everything. 20 years later, 5 of the roommates still indulge in a secret tradition they've kept alive since their campus days: the circus, a harmless elimination-style killing game played across the private rooms and hidden alleys of New York City. The game is a nod to their younger selves and a tribute to the 6th roommate they lost too young. But this year, Sarah wants out of the game until she discovers there is a small fortune awaiting the winner of this final round. As the circus unfolds, Sarah begins to suspect that the others aren't playing by the rules, and as the danger turns real and old friends start pointing fingers, she discovers that even those closest to her harbor secrets of their own, secrets that could kill. Yeah, that doesn't sound like much fun. Where He Left Me by Nicole Bart. In every world, I'd find you. Sadie Sheridan's new husband Felix, a professor of planetary sciences, has vowed to never leave her, but when Felix doesn't return from a work trip, Sadie is stranded at Hemlock House, the remote mountain homestead where her husband grew up. Doubt creeps into Sadie's heart, then panic. Where is he? Scared and alone in a place that feels haunted, Sadie struggles to make sense of what her missing husband left behind. But when she catches strangers lurking around the property, Hemlock House instantly becomes both a sanctuary and a prison. So leave, girl. Navigating threats from outside and in, Sadie is forced to confront shocking secrets that leave her questioning whether she really knows Felix at all. As a powerful storm bears down, she must decide if she fighting only for her own survival now, or for the man who promised her the stars. The Predicament by William Boyd. 1963 Guatemala. The country is in turmoil with a presidential election looming and a charismatic left-wing ex-priest and trade union leader predicted to win. United Fruits, a giant American corporation responsible for a large percentage of the country's GNP, meanwhile, is not pleased by this prospect. Neither is the CIA. Amid the uncertainty, Gabriel Dax arrives on orders from his MI6 handler Faith Green, who has tasked him with assessing the fallout from the election. Upon arrival, Gabriel meets Frank Sartorius, the local CIA agent. Despite Sartorius's genial manner, Gabriel suspects something untrustworthy brewing under the surface. Soon, a political assassination with suspicions of mafia involvement leads to riots, and Dax escapes to Europe thinking he will finally return to his normal life as a travel writer. But when Green compels him to investigate some shady characters in West Berlin, it becomes clear that an even greater danger is afoot as the magnetic young President Kennedy prepares to arrive for a state visit. And then it goes into Burbage. That would be an interesting one for Spy versus Spy. But that's a ways away. End of row 1. Is it a boy or a girl? They would die to know. Madeline and Wes Drake have invited 200 of their closest friends and family to their sprawling horse ranch for the most anticipated event of the year, a Pistols and Pearls gender reveal party so sensational it is sure to make headlines. But the party descends into chaos when the celebratory explosive misfires, leaving one woman dead and a trail of secrets. As the aftershocks, why do these people do this? Why is this a thing? As the aftershocks of a bloody party ripple across the small town, Agent Jamie Saldano is brought on the scene to investigate. Battling his own demons from the past, Saldano unearths a web of deceit spun around the Drakes. The appearance of some unexpected house guests only deepens the mystery, and as tensions mount, it becomes clear that the explosion wasn't just an unlucky accident, but who was the target and why? As the shadow of a killer looms, the happy parents-to-be must unravel the truth before it's too late. The New Year's Party by Jenna Satterthwaite. Mary says, do you have snow now? I know that Rosanna has about 1 inch. No, we don't. Nope, she's a higher elevation than I am up on that side of the state. She's about 500 or so miles away from me. We are in the 50s all this week. It's coming, though. It used to be an annual thing, the raucous New Year's party full of games and hors d'oeuvres, but for Olivia and her friends, the chaos of their 30s has really challenged the definition of annual. It's been a few years since the close friends were last close, but this year is going to be different. The burnout, parenting stress, credit card debt, job drama, marriage troubles, addiction, they're going to set it all aside for the night. No, really, they swear. Oh, except for the secrets. Every last person has one, but secrets are only as good as the people you trust to keep them. And when the wrong one slips out, well, friends or not, that just might become motive for murder. Everybody thinks they know their closest friends until somebody winds up dead. And I'm okay with not having white stuff yet. I want to enjoy fall for as long as possible. Plus, I don't enjoy driving in it. We already have stupid drivers. And then you add the white stuff, and it is... People are stupid. And reckless. And don't heed the laws anymore. The High Tide Murder by Amelia Hall, 6th in the Shell House Detectives Mysteries. The High Tide Hotel overlooking stunning Trebarron Cove is a dream destination for an autumnal getaway, but the serene atmosphere of this luxury enclave is shattered when the body of a guest is discovered on the terrace directly below their balcony. The victim's friend is adamant that this was no accident, and when it emerges that the dead man was a detective with a checkered past, the police inquiry intensifies. Meanwhile, fellow guest Jaden, one half of the Shell House Detectives, wastes no time in bringing Allie on board to help find the killer. With the hotel cut off by a storm on the night of the murder, everyone at the High Tide is a suspect. As Allie and Jaden delve deeper into the past of both guests and staff, they uncover a mass of secrets and complex connections. Who wanted this man dead, or rather, who wanted him dead most? As the tide turns, the investigation leads them into a life-or-death situation. Who will pay the final price for discovering the truth? The Dinner Party by Viola Van de Sant. See, that's why I'm antisocial. Murder happens when you become social. And there's storms. Deadly combination. Franca left the Netherlands behind to start her new life in England with Andrew. Andrew, whose parents lived in South Kensington but had a flat their son could borrow nearby. Andrew, an old-fashioned British gentleman who encourages her not to work but to instead focus on her writing. Andrew, who suggests a dinner party with his colleagues to celebrate their big upcoming launch. A dinner party that Franca must plan and shop and cook and clean for. A dinner party during a heat wave when the fridge breaks, alcohol replaces water, and an unexpected guest joins their ranks, upending the careful balance between everything Franca once was and now is. Kyle? I guess murder happens. Murder breaks out. The Bridesmaid by Kate Quinn. That was the end of that row. Mary said, we had a lot of snow when I was working and had a long commute and a building to open to the public. Lots of 3 a.m. calls with other local governments to see what they were doing, now retired, and little snow. Doesn't it always work that way? It's like, dang it, you guys need to suffer like I suffered. We're human. The Kensingtons invite you to the society wedding of the decade. There's just one hitch. You might not make it out alive. When a celebrity bridesmaid is murdered weeks before an exclusive society wedding, forensic attorney Holly Stone is drafted as an unlikely undercover replacement. As she works to unpick the lives of the notoriously private Kensington family, glamour-averse Holly discovers a new worst enemy in Bridezilla, Adriana. Heir to a multi-million-dollar fortune, Adriana is set on throwing the event of the decade, and she won't let anything get in her way. But beneath the veneer of poise and sophistication, Adriana and her bridesmaids have secrets worth killing for. As the wedding day gets closer, it's clear that one of the 5 hand-picked bridesmaids has committed murder, and a destination wedding is a perfect place to strike again. Soon, Holly finds herself on the playground of the rich and famous, but if she wants to find answers, she'll have to make it out alive. He says, and you are in a secluded mansion that might be haunted, and you're trapped there by a huge snowfall, and you're stuck with in-laws that hate you. Exactly. Goodness. Have the brains that God gave you. Leave. Don't look back. Even 20 years later. For John Dempsey, it's a time of uncertainty. As a new administration, this is The Adversary by Brian Andrews and Jeffrey Wilson. As a new administration tries to piece together who was behind the assassination of an American president, Task Force Ember is a team without a target. Newly minted President of the United States, Kelso Jarvis, is haunted by strange dreams of a house on fire, and Dempsey's son Jake, who has begun his own journey as a SEAL, can't escape the ghost of the father he believes to be dead. But when a routine intelligence-gathering mission in Taiwan goes horribly wrong and one of Ember's own is captured, Dempsey's frustration only grows. As Ember races to rescue their teammate before it's too late, 3 of America's strongest warriors, Dempsey, Jarvis, and Jake, must ask themselves if tomorrow's adversary resides across the Taiwan Strait or within themselves. I bet it's both. Strangers in the Car by C.M. Ewan. Abby and Ben are driving home down foggy country roads, arguing about having had to cut short their weekend away when they take a wrong turn. Abby is behind the wheel, but her eyes leave the road for a moment as she says something to Ben just as he gasps. A man is in the road, waving a torch. Abby swerves to avoid him. I'm assuming this is London, or, the UK, calling it a torch. Ben tells her they should stop and go back, but Abby refuses. It's dark, the roads are isolated, and they don't know this stranger. That's why he's a stranger. But as Abby continues on, they see a broken down car. Every instinct is still telling Abby to drive by, but then she notices the woman holding a car seat with a baby in it. Abby can't bring herself to leave a mother and baby stranded in the middle of the night, but offering them a ride might take them down a dangerous road, a road from which they may never return. Other People's Fun by Harriet Lane. Ruth is alone, unnoticed, and at a loss. Her marriage has ended, her daughter is leaving home, and her job is leading nowhere. But luckily, Sookie is back in her life, vivid, self-assured Sookie, who never spared the time for Ruth when they were teenagers, but who now seems to want to be friends. But as Ruth is caught up in Sookie's life, she sees that everything is not as Instagrammable as Sookie would have you believe. As the truth about Sookie becomes clearer, so does the choice Ruth will have to make. And then blurbage. Blurbage. Lots of blurbage. End of that row. Murder at the Christmas Emporium. This is a follow-up to the 12 Days of Murder by Adriana Cordani. It's Christmas Eve at the Emporium, a bespoke gift shop hidden in the depths of London's widening streets where a select few shoppers are browsing its handcrafted delights. But when they go to leave, they find the doors are locked, and it isn't long before they realize this is no innocent mix-up. The shoppers have been trapped here by someone who knows their darkest secrets, someone will stop at nothing until they have all been unwrapped, and there is a gruesome gift waiting in Santa's grotto. For those that survive the night, it will be a Christmas to remember. That sounds fun. Her One Regret by Donna Freitas. When successful Rhode Island real estate agent Lucy Mendoza vanishes, leaving her baby behind in a grocery store parking lot, the news quickly makes national headlines. Lucy's best friend Michelle is devastated and terrified that Lucy's life is at stake, but she knows something that could complicate the police investigation. Lucy had confessed something unspeakable. She regretted becoming a mother so much that she'd fantasized about faking her own kidnapping. If the police and media were to find out, Lucy would become a monster in public opinion. Michelle is sure Lucy would never abandon her daughter, but could she be wrong? Could Lucy have been so desperate she chose to escape her life? And then blurbage. And that is what we have in crime fiction and thrillers. I am marked safe, really, from these. Charles Finch, I need to, I've read anyway, and I need to move the next book in series for me up the TBR mountain a little bit more, but I am otherwise marked safe. And it's a good thing. Mary says, seems many of these synopses are very long these days. I know. Practically tell the whole story. Yes, indeed. Few seem to really draw you in. It's a real art to write short, descriptive piece about a book's plot. Yeah, just enough to entice you to explore it more. But yeah, you're right. So many of them give away so many plot points. It's like, well, why do I need to read it? Or like in the fantasy ones where they tell you all the tropes, it's like, okay, I don't even need to read this. You just told everything that's going to happen. Mary says, not as many thrillers or crime fiction this time. What are we, the first week? It might pick up. I don't know. I should probably start noting the trends. How is my tooth? My tooth is okay. They cemented it back on back here, but next to that tooth it's cracked in 2 places. It had a filling back when I was a kid, and over time it starts to like rock evolution, it breaks. So I've got to get a crown on that second tooth on Tuesday. And then we got to discuss what to do about my teeth, because I lost one of my bridges many years ago and stuff, but I've been avoiding it, and now is the time. Do you have anything going on this weekend, Mary? I can't remember. I apologize. I think my hair appointment is finally this weekend. She had to cancel it a couple weekends ago. That's why my bangs are so bleh. I think that's my excitement this weekend. And that's okay to have. I just have a show on Saturday. Oh, that's right. Been busy trying to get ready for it. How's that going? May the creativity flow in your direction. You had mentioned like sun catchers are being very popular. I'm also seeing like those wrist things to put at the bottom of a cell phone are kind of popular too, made of beads. If you want something quick like that, see how that goes. Mary says, thanks, I need all the help I can get. You need snow? No. Well, thank you so much, everybody. On Friday, we'll look at the rest of the Cozy Mysteries. Those might have to be drive-bys because there's always so many of those. And then tomorrow night, we'll have our second sprint of the week at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, like beading, or just close your eyes after a day, whatever it is you would like to do, because that is your self-care. Everybody, be safe. Do things that make you happy. And as the banner says, hang on, Mary says, thanks so much. Hope to see you later. I think so. I'll be there. I don't have anything that's going to take me away that I'm aware of. Have a great day, everyone. Yes, back at you, baby. Don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.